What's going on, all you Dracula enthusiasts? Your two favorite horror movie critics are back again. I'm here with my good mate Logan. I'm Henry, and we are talking about a movie today that came out in 1992 and was directed by the legendary filmmaker Francis Ford Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola brings an undying legend to life. Dracula.
So, based off the novel Bram Stoker put out many, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, I actually read this in grade school. I remember being a huge fan, but this is Francis Ford Coppola's cinematic approach to the source material, and it brings an all-star cast in this movie. We have the great Gary Oldman, that is, master of disguise, always, different, costumes and makeup and things like that, but really great practical effects in this movie playing Dracula. And he starts, being old and then young in different forms. It's really, really cool how they go about the Dracula character. And then obviously we have a Winona Ryder in this film is Mina Murray.
Mina
Anthony Hopkins, Professor Abraham Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, which is, we all know that character. Hugh Jackman. No, not really, but Keanu Reeves, Jonathan Harker, Richard Grant as Dr. Jack Seward, Carrie Ewells is in this. Wow, Billy Campbell, Sadie Frost. I mean, the list goes on and on. This movie was stacked.
Great cast, epic cast. Yeah, obviously with Francis Ford Coppola at the helm, he's going to assemble the best of the best. Directing The Godfather. These great movies with great casts. He's known for that, and for Bram Stoker's Dracula, he executes that perfectly. Love Gary Oldman as Dracula. He plays, he plays him from young Dracula, from a very young man, fighting in against the Ottoman Empire back in 1400s, and we see him all the way until he's this old, decrepit guy right behind Uncle Logan's head there, who looks like his skin is melting off his face. So, like you mentioned, Gary Oldman, he can just change over time. He's like a chameleon in his roles, and even within this movie he plays like three different versions of Dracula. It's pretty awesome. His performance is legendary in this, and basically the setup of the film is Dracula was this young soldier who's out to fight the campaign against the Ottoman Empire, and back home his wife was told that he was killed in battle, so she kills herself. And after that, Dracula basically goes to this church and he renounces God, and he says he's going to turn to the dark side and harness the power of the dark to be reunited with his wife. That story kind of shows you some glimpses of the war and stuff and how that sort of happened, and that's at the very beginning of the film. And then it goes into 1897, where we're introduced to Winona Ryder's character Mina, and Vlad, the old Dracula himself, recognizes her. She looks very familiar. In fact, she's a doppelganger to his late wife, who he lost many years ago. And he sees Mina and instantly he's attracted, and it starts kind of this love story. I mean, that's really what this movie is at the heart of it. Throughout the whole film, that's what he's doing everything for Mina in this film, really.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Harker's fiance, right? Keanu Reeves' fiance.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Dracula thrown in the mix, her being the doppelganger, so he like seduces her and fall in love, and like you said, much like a love story. And then you throw in, Van Helsing into this Anthony Hopkins and trying to stake through the heart, so to speak. Really great ending to the movie. Is bloody good time, without giving too much away for anybody who hasn't seen this. Came out in 92, but anyway. But yeah, try not to spoil too much. But yeah, just really a cool take on the source material being the novel, and then bring an all-star cast, Hollywood A-listers, especially in the early 90s. These are all the big players in the game. It's Francis Ford Coppola, so he's going to bring a great cast, really great script in this movie. Practical effects were top-notch, one of the best parts of the movie, in my opinion. But I love the love story and how that kind of all works itself out. And, bringing Keanu's character, Jonathan Harker, he's like, what the fuck? His fiance is getting seduced by this beautiful man, Gary Oldman. And it really sets up their love story. A lot of cool kills in the vampires, like the eyes turning red. I love that one shot of Gary Oldman where he's like younger and he had long hair and the top hat, and glasses, and he turns up and his eyes are red. Thinks the fangs Yeah, just a
Awesome.
lot of great shots and iconic scenes, especially because of Gary Oldman.
The movie's beautifully shot. Everything from the costume design, the sound, the makeup. In fact, this movie won. It was actually nominated for 4 Academy Awards. It won 3. It won Best Costume Design, Best Sound Editing, and Best Makeup. And it was also nominated for Best Art Direction. So Francis
Wow.
Ford Coppola really, brought everything that he's known for over to this, and he made it his own movie and his own style, and just a beautiful film. Like, really feels like an epic movie, and it's a nice length that doesn't feel like it's overly long, but he packs so much in. There's so much going on there, and from the performances from Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, those two especially were great. Keanu Reeves is kind of so that was a lot of the critical consensus back then was, his accent, his English accent was kind of hokey. But I
Yeah.
mean, he was the hot young up and coming actor back then, and obviously it's Keanu Reeves today. We love him. So other than that, there's really nothing to complain about. It had been a while since I watched this movie, and I picked up the 4K version. This one's a steelbook I got from Best Buy. But yeah, so I was anxious to revisit this, and I didn't remember it being such a love story when I watched it back then. Much younger, obviously, looking for all the horror and noticing that more than I did. But now watching it, older with a critical eye, we've been reviewing all these movies. I saw the movie differently and saw the more of the story behind it and what Dracula is actually trying to do and trying to accomplish here. That kind of, when I was watching it before, I didn't really think about that aspect. So it's kind of cool to watch this years later, and I had a good time. It's a beautiful film and a movie that I was happy to revisit. Gary Oldman with a great performance, some creepy kills, and awesome movie from Francis Ford Coppola.
Same here. I haven't seen this in a bit. I remember this movie coming out in '92 when I was a kid, and my dad was really into it. I knew who Francis Ford Coppola, is. Grew up with him.
Sure.
Oscar award-winning director.
Apocalypse Now, just name them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. He has so many great movies, and seeing his take on this, favorite book of mine, as a kid, I just loved it. I loved what he did with the movie adaptation of this, bringing in a lot of great actors, great script in this. It really keeps you involved. You fall into the love story between, Winona and Gary Oldman's character, and just the way that he changes throughout the movie. And I love that right there too. The makeup work on that is really fantastic.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, the really stand out here, like you were saying, the costume design, set design, practical effects, everything just really worked for this movie. It's a fun movie to watch during the Halloween season. So with that being said, I'm going to give Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, a 3.5 out of 5 Keanu Reeves hair pieces.
I am going to give Bram Stoker's Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola a 3 out of 5 Gary Oldman hair pieces.
So we're interested in hearing from you, a wild vampire enthusiast. What did you like about Bram Stoker's Dracula? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild bloodsuckers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and horror reviews.
Oh man, we've had a blast this 31 Days of Horror. I think this is our third vampire movie, third or fourth actually. But this one was an awesome one to revisit. Hadn't seen it in a while. Like we mentioned, we watched some awesome vampire movies this year. Got me stoked to watch Lost Boys again, Fright Night, obviously. We've watched so many good horror movies. We still got a couple left to go here in the 31 Days of Horror.
You still have enough gas in that tank of yours?
Oh yeah, I'm going to keep going through December.
That's right. Yeah, and it's great revisiting all these this Halloween, because most of these were released on 4K, so it's a 4K scan, revisiting this, cleaning up, the visuals and the way the movie looks. It just higher resolution, looks beautiful, 4K, and it makes it a better movie experience, watching these during the Halloween season.
So thank you guys so much for watching our review of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Let us know if you guys have seen it before, if you guys liked it like we did. Please, thank you guys so much for following along with us for this 31 Days of Horror. We loved doing these videos for you guys, and I've been stoked to see all the comments and love from you guys out there. So thank you guys so much, and we will be back very soon for the 31 Days of Horror to reach its conclusion. So until the next time, you bloodsuckers, I'm Van Helsing.
And I'm Logan Coppola, signing out to the next 31 Days of Horror review. Jesus.
I want to suck your blood.